Hi. I just wanted to do a short little, cute little January TBR. I wanna read. I wanna read infinite books this month, but more realistically, I wanna read like 7 books this month. Um, I'm not gonna make it even more realistic, please. We're here to have fun. So, right. I want to read 7 books this month, and I just thought that I'll talk about them or like list them out for you, and then we can check back in at the end of the month, and we'll see where I stand. What did I read? I'm actually more of a mood reader, so although I do set a TBR, and not always, but yeah, even if I do set a TBR at the beginning of the month, a lot of times it's what I want to read at that particular moment, and then turns out at the end of the month that my mood changed partway through the month or based on what I read, and then I've ended up reading something completely else entirely. So let's see. Let's see. Um, right. So the first book that I want to read this month is Days at the Murasaki Bookshop. I was watching this video by Jack Edwards where he was going through the books that he wanted to read. I guess it was like 24 books to read before 2024 ends or something like that. And he was talking about more days at the Murasaki Bookshop, and he mentioned that Days at the Murasaki Bookshop has this theme of like that it's okay to not know what your next steps are in life, and that kind of hit a nerve with me. I am at a point in life where I'm just confused. Is this what a quarter life crisis is? Is it still a quarter life crisis if you're just past your quarter life? I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna live past 100. I don't know. But it really hit a nerve, the way he was talking about the book, and so I want to read Days at the Murasaki Bookshop, and maybe I'll find some answers. And if not answers, maybe I'll just find some validation in there. I could do with either of those. Then I want to read the Atlas 6. I want to read the entire Atlas trilogy by Olivia Blake. So it's the Atlas 6, the Atlas Paradox, and the Atlas Complex, I believe it's called. So I want to read all three of these, and then I want to jump right into the Poppy War trilogy. So it's Poppy War, the Burning God, and there's one more. So I want to read the Poppy War trilogy. Will I be able to finish all of these books within January itself? No idea, no clue, no one knows. Least of all me. But this is what I'm vibing with right now, and this is kind of what I want to read right now. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it my best shot. We'll see where we land. It'll be fun. I'm at this point right now where I just want to dive into fantasies, and I just want to dive into um, series like trilogies, duologies, not really standalones so much, but into something that spans a few books, because I have historically read more series than I have standalones. In fact, I didn't even realize that fantasy books could be standalones until like much later in life. So, I mean, I've read the entire Percy Jackson universe. I've read like 25 books for Percy Jackson alone, and 6 more if you count the Kane Chronicles and the Magnus, what is it? Magnus Chase books. Yeah, so I've been a series reader, I've been a mood reader, I've been a fantasy reader, and yeah, I'm trying to read the Days of the Murasaki Bookshop because I am confused, and if I don't find validation or answers, or even if I do, I feel like when you're confused, when you're feeling lost, when you're feeling vulnerable, and afraid, it just makes sense to go back to the things that gave you comfort. So, fantasy series give me comfort. It feels like coming home, reading a good fantasy series. And if nothing else, then this. If nothing else in my life makes sense, at least I'm hoping that this part of me, this part of my personality, my life, my entire being is something that still makes sense, finding comfort in a fantastical world. And historically, I keep saying historically like I'm some, uh, I don't know, typically, I've also been someone who's found solace in her chaotic times in books with even more chaos. I guess some part of me just knows that if these characters, these teenagers and new adults can make it through upheavals and revolutions and um, downfalls of governments and whatnots, and like make it through and find friends and find family and find comfort and find love in times of upheaval and just utter and complete chaos, that maybe some part of me finds comfort that when everything around me is in chaos, I'll find my way too. There's a reason stories are important, and there's a reason that when everything um, kind of fell apart during the pandemic, we all turned to art and stories. And maybe I have been overly critical of why I've always enjoyed fantasies, but maybe I shouldn't be. And that's why perhaps this January I'll spend some time trying to get back to the things that have brought me the greatest comfort in the most unpredictable times of my life, and hope that they can do that for me once again. So, this has been my January TBR. And if by some miracle I manage to finish these 7 books and still have time left over, I want to read Vicious and Vengeful by V. Schwab. So, Vicious and Vengeful technically is part of an incomplete series because V. Schwab said that she's working on Victorious, which will be the third part. But she says to treat this series like a duology until the third part comes out. So, Vicious and Vengeful. Who knows? All right. So, January TBR. Um, I'll post my December wrap up also around some time. Um, I don't know which of these videos is going to be out first. I am going to try to make some little doodles to create um, some dividers, some segments, some covers. I don't know. I'm just trying things out right now. So, this is it for this one. See you. Bye.